It's 2015. I believe it is December of 2015. I'm at a warehouse. I'm 23. No, actually, it's 2014. I'm at a warehouse. I'm tired. I'm catching a fever because I'm working a 12-hour shift because it was during like holiday season. And my boss and everybody thought that I was lying because the whole time I'm sitting there with a space heater this close up to my face and I'm freezing, like I'm getting the chills, and I'm like, I can't make it to work because I'm so sick. And I had a drop coming up, and I put so much time and effort into the drop. Well, I thought I put so much effort into it, but now looking back, it's just funny, right? Because when you think that you work so hard and then you look back and be like, I didn't really do shit, so I'm thinking that I'm working so fucking hard on this drop, and the shit was just like crazy as hell, right? Because I'm just sitting there at this warehouse and I have a drop literally the next day at like 11 in the morning. And I'm like, there's no way I'm doing this drop because like I said, the 12-hour shift, I'm sitting there working till like 5 in the morning type shit, like 4 in the morning. Like it was like this slave fucking plantation warehouse. Like the hours that they had me working was just like crazy as hell. And I'll never forget, I had to leave work early, so imagine me driving. I got all the heaters on in my car. The shit is just burning. It's freezing outside. And I'm just like shivering because, when you got a fever, like you get the chills and shit. So I'm sitting there, and then I get to my girlfriend's house at the time, or a girl that I was talking to. And I run up to her. I run upstairs and shit. And she was like, what are you doing here so early? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yo, like I got a fever and shit. She was like, oh, damn, like, do you need anything? So she gives me like Benadryl. She wakes up. Because, men, we sit there and we're just like, when we get sick, we all fucking like, oh, I'm dying. It's the end of the world. But a girl just be like, suck it up. Like, so she catered to me and shit. She looked out for me. But I made sure that she didn't work, which is fucking crazy. I was like, yo, you're not working tomorrow. She was like, for what? I was like, I have a drop coming up literally at like 11 in the morning for the jackets. And she obviously saw the whole process of me working so hard to get these shits out there. So I was like, you're not working with me like at all? Oh, no. I was like, you're not going to work at all and you're working with me on this drop because I'm going to be sleeping majority of the day. Remind you, it's hella early in the morning because they got me working like a slave, right? So she was like, okay, bet. So we go back to sleep and shit. I wake up, she's there, you know what I'm saying? Yo, is you okay? And I'm so fucking tired and I'm so sick. I'm worse than what I was driving to the crib. Like I'm like sitting there like, leave me alone, I wanna go back to sleep. So she was like, no, babe, like wake up. Like your drop is here. So I was just like, fuck. So I had to wake up and I'm telling her what to do as I'm like, I got all of these fucking pillows and blankets wrapped around me up in the bed. I'm talking about literally her room was at least at fucking 90 degrees, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm just like, yo, like do this and then do this and then do that and then upload this photo here, like take my phone. I'm like, take it. I'm just like, just upload, blah, blah, blah. And I knock out. I didn't have no notifications on or nothing, you know what I'm saying? And then when I woke up, like this is probably at like later on that night at like 5-6 o'clock, I will never forget that moment. I literally looked at my shit and I saw like 80 something $100 that I just made in a day. And I couldn't even enjoy that feeling because I was so sick. But I remember just waking up, I look at my phone and it was like 80 something hundred, and then I just went right back to sleep. But I'm just processing it as I'm like dozing off, going back to sleep, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like I just moved like 100 jackets within like a few hours, And obviously I did a whole bunch of like marketing behind it and stuff like that. Like back in the day, I was posting on like theme pages, basically like these fashion theme pages. You would pay them like $15 or $20 and then they'll post it on their page, and then those people will come to like buy the product. So I hyped it up pretty good. I took all of my warehouse money and then I threw it into there, and from then on, you know what I mean? I was just like, there's no way I'm ever going back to like that. So literally, it was probably like a day and a half later, I remember waking like back up and now I'm like fully fine and I'm fully functional. And I remember I had over $10,000 in sales, and I was like, yo, there's no way at all that I'm ever fucking going back to like me just working like a slave for just $20 or $30 an hour. And for me, it wasn't about the money. For me, it was always about like the freedom, and I can just make what I want, but obviously like still have enough to like take care of my family and stuff. So that story, I hope, is extremely motivating for you, of the feeling that I had when I made my first $10,000 in a month. Well, for me, it wasn't even in a month. It was like literally within the fucking first 2.5 days, you know. But that was like the whole putting my ass in gear. And then I was like, I'm about to really do this shit. Because you gotta remember, for me, I wasn't like one of these little lucky little fuckers that you see up on YouTube or on TikTok with their buy my little t-shirt and then they go viral and make $20,000. Like, this is a process of like 18 months of like really eating shit, like not seeing no results. And remind you, like, I'm not some fucking little dorky little college kid. I'm not some fucking little high school faggot, right? I'm 23 years old, you know what I'm saying? Until I made this executive decision on like, this is what the fuck I'm about to do. So that should just give you some motivation and you some type of perspective of just like, well, damn, if he did it at 23, 24, and I'm up in fucking high school, or I'm up in college right now, I can fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? And for the people that's my age, it's like, damn, well, bro did it at 23, 24, and I didn't know shit about nothing. I didn't know shit about the marketing, the production, the operation, or nothing. I came up from brands, from like where I'm from and shit, like back in the day, like, and I'll post like photos once I get back into like the dopamine videos and stuff of just like showing the evidence of that, like, cause I've been around streetwear growing up. Like, this wasn't something like where I was like, oh, I just want to make a brand. Like, I've been known in my city since I was a child, you know what I'm saying? Like, since I was like 15, 16, of me and my clique being like the freshest niggas, like, as adolescents. So it was like inevitable for one of us to start a brand. It just so happened to be me that was the one that did it, you know what I'm saying? It could have easily been one of my other partners, but it just happened to be me, you know? So that just goes to show you, though, it's just like, you can make this shit happen. I would never forget that moment of like me going back to the warehouse. I literally stole supplies because I was so broke, and I was still coming from like a broke mentality because I'm just making $11,000, and I go back to the job and I'm just like, oh, I'm poor. So I was just like, I'm stealing all these boxes and all this tape. And what's crazy is I still have the tape gun to this day. You know what I'm saying? Because I always just hold on to it as like motivation of where I started from back when I used to like fulfill the orders and stuff at the warehouse with me and my team. But I always used to have that same little tape gun there as just like a motivation. Because I just know where I started at. But I would never forget that feeling of just going into that job. I purposely got myself fired just so I didn't have to like run to my pops or nothing to be like, oh yeah, like, you know, I got fired off of like whatever. Like, I just put myself in a position to purposely get fired. So then it's just like, damn, now I have to burn the boats and now I have to figure this out. But me doing that was like, that was the whole kicker of like starting off my whole entire process and my whole entire journey. And I wouldn't regret it for the world. And that's the feeling that I had when I saw my first 10 bands in a month, you know what I mean? And then from there, it led on to like 10,000 profit in a month because I was doing like 20s and the 30s, and then the numbers just kept going and going and going and going. So comment down below on this video, 100K, just like 100K. Just leave a comment if you want to hear the story about when I hit my first 100K month or even my first 50K month. Well, we can start off with like 100K. Just comment down below 100K, and then I can get into the story of even that as well. But that was, you know, my foundation of like how everything started. And remind you, it took 18 months to get there. You feel me? It wasn't overnight. It was none of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really had to lock myself in the room, and I'm going through the worst humility stage. Let me put this out there before this video is over. I was going through the most humility stage ever in life because here I am. I'm 23 years old. I'm grown, you know what I'm saying? Especially where I'm from. I'm from a world where motherfuckers was having kids at 17, 18 type shit. Like, motherfuckers already got their family, their foundation, their careers, everything off the ground running. So I'm looking at all my friends and my peers and motherfuckers is graduating college and having families and shit. And I had to leave my girlfriend's house at that time. You know what I'm saying? And that's a story for later, but just going back to my dad's house and like, yo, I'm really about to do this brand shit and just knocking out the whole entire process. And that's what I had to do, you know what I mean? And obviously not 8 years, but like 4 years later, that's when it really started showing of like, damn, I made the right decision, and just like really gambling on myself. But if you watching this right now and if you sitting there just like, damn, I need to get to 10 bands a month, I need to like really make that shit happen, just comment down below 100K. I'll tell you my 100K story, and I hope this video motivated you more than ever. So with that being said, just remember to divorce from the result and just embrace the craft, and you will get the result a whole lot quicker. Love is love. I'm out. Bye.